We are going to start off with FIFO. So let me quickly just draw the table. Okay, so we have the date and then bought or received, whatever word you use, and then you have issued, or you can say sold, and then you have the balance, and then the total value. Okay, so the first thing that you record, né? The first thing that you record is your balance. In cases where you are given a balance brought down, but because sometimes you can be given a balance brought down, né? So I was going through some question papers, old question papers, and I've seen that in some questions you can be given a balance brought down. Now, in cases where you got a balance brought down, you write, for example, the date, maybe the financial year starts in January. So in this case, you have January the 1st, because balance brought down is always on the 1st. Now, because it's a balance, so you did not buy anything, it's zero. You did not sell out anything, it's zero. So the balance, this is where you're gonna record it. Now let me say you have 20 items at the price of $10 each. So you have 20 items at the price of $10 each, and then you will have a total value of 200. So that is how you record a balance. In cases where you are told that, okay, at the in the beginning of the month you had 20 items at $10 each in stock, then you know that that is a balance brought down. So if you have a balance brought down, then you had to write the date. You did not buy anything, you did not issue out anything, so you only recorded at balance and then the total value. Now this is when you are given a balance. Now, but in this case, in this activity, we did not get any balance. So if you are not given any balance, you don't need to stress yourself. You just start recording the information that you are given. Okay, now looking at this example, you have the bought and you have the sold. Now you're told that if you check at the selling, at the sold or issued, you have 8. You sold 8 at the price of 46. Now that $46, that is the selling price. And we said that when you are valuing our inventory, we do not use selling prices. We ignore the selling prices. So when you are drawing up these tables, please ignore selling price. Let me just write it here. When ignore selling price. We only use cost prices. And this is what we were explaining under perpetual, that when you are valuing inventory, we do not value inventory according to their selling price, according to our selling price. We value inventory according to their cost prices. And that's why when you have to draw up this table, you do not use the selling price. You totally ignore it. Ne? You only use the selling price when you are told to calculate your selling price, and that will come after at the end of the session when you're done doing the examples. or the activities. Okay, so we go month by month. So the first month here is January. So what did we do in January? In January, we bought. So how many items did we buy? We bought 10 items at the price of $30. 30 Namibian dollars. So we did not issue out anything. It's zero. So what will be the balance? So that is the only balance that we have. So we have 10 in total. We only have 10 items in stock at the price of $30 each item. So what will be our total value? Therefore, our total value will be 300. 10 items. Each item is $30, right? 10 at the price of 30. Meaning 10 times 30 will give you a total value of 300. So our total cost, or in other words, let me use total cost. So our total cost is 300. And then we move on to the next month. From January, February, there's nothing. We move on to March. So what did we do in March? In March again, we bought. So in March we bought. How many items did we buy? We bought 10 items at the price of 34. So we did not issue out anything. It's zero. So when we come to the balance, please listen very carefully. So when it comes to the balance, what we need to do is you first bring down the balance from the previous month. You first bring down the balances from the previous month. So in this case, we bring down this balance that is from January, the previous month. So we have 10 at the price of 30. After bringing down the balance from the previous month, and that's when we can record our new balance of 10 at $34. So the rule says first bring down the balance from the previous month, and then after bringing it down, that's when you can record your new inventory. That's when you can add your new inventory that you just bought. So what will be our total cost? So our total cost will be, okay, 10 times 30, obviously it's 300, right? And then you added another 10 at the price of 34. So in this case, this will give you 340. And this will give you 300. So what will be our total cost? Our total cost will be 640. 300 plus 340, that will be our total cost of 640. And then we move on to the next month, which is April. So what did we do in April? In April, we sold. How many items did we sell? So we did not buy. It's zero, since we did not buy, but we sold, we issued out. How many items? We issued out 8 items. Now that's where the first in, first out comes in. It says that the items that came in first should be issued out first, should be sold out first. So the items that came in first, now you look at your balances from the previous month, the item that came in first is the one that is on top. Meaning that with first in, first out, you start from the top. You start issuing all the items that are on top. So you have 10 at 30. And you are told that you sold 8 items. So you have to issue out these items according to the cost price of the balance that is on top. So you will have 8 at 30. And then, so what will be your new balance? So the first one, you only issued out 8, so you still have 2 items remaining. So you will have 2 at the price of 30 because you still have the 2 items remaining. And then after the 2 items, that's when you can record again the 10 items that are still available. They are not issued out. 10 at 34. And then you get your new total cost. So what will be your new total cost? Obviously, this will give you $60. and this will give you 340. So your total cost 2 times 30. Am I correct? What is 2 times 30? It's 60, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So the total cost will be how much? It will be 400. 60 plus 340 will give you 400. Okay. And then we move on to the next month, which is from April. It's September. April, June, July, August, September. So it's September. So what did we do in September? We bought, ne? So how many items did we buy? We bought 20 items at the price of 40. So we bought 20 items at the price of $40. We did not issue out anything, so it's zero. And then we move on to our balance. Now the rule says first bring down the balances from the previous month. You first bring down the balances from the previous month. So you have 2 at the price of 30, and then you have 10, and then you have 10 at the price of 34. And then that's when, after bringing down your balances from the previous month, that's when you can record your new items that you bought. So 20 items at the price of 40 Namibian dollars. So what will be our new total cost? So this, you know, that is 60, and this is 340, plus this, which is 800, right?
Yes.
So 800 plus 400 will give you how much? It will give you 1,200. So 800 plus 340 plus 60 will give you 1,200. That is your new total cost. So that is your total cost. And then you move on to the next month, which is December. So what did we do in December? We sold. We issued out. So we issued out 12 units. The rule says first in, first out. What came in first should be sold out first. So you start from the ones that are up. You start from up going down. So what you first have, what came in first are the 2 units. So you first sell out the 2 units at the price of $30. But in total, you are told that you sold 12 units. So you still need to issue out another 10 units. Because currently you only issued out 2. The ones of the remaining balance, the top balance is still at 30. So you still have 10 units that you need to issue out. So this, now the balance that is on top is out, is totally sold out. So you move on to the next one, which is 10 at the price of 34. So because you need to issue out another 10, so you have 10 at the price of 34. So what will be our new balance? So this one is out, the first one is out, and the second one is out. So we'll only be remaining with how much? 20 units at the price of 40. Ne? And that will give us how much? It will give us 800. This one you issued out, and this one you issued out. Now you are only remaining with 20 items at the price of 40. So this amount will be your closing stock that you are asked to calculate. So when you're asked to calculate your closing inventory using your FIFO, this is how you calculate it. And now our closing inventory is 800. Do we have any questions before we move on to the next method?
Can you repeat the last December, the last month? Like lost.
The last month,
Yes,
December.
December.
Okay. So December, what did we do in December? We sold 12 items. Ne? And the rule says first in, first out. You start from the top. What came in first should be sold out first. So looking at the balances in September, because you are using the balances from the previous month, these are the total in balances that we currently have in our business. So at the top you have 2 at 30. So you first sell out the ones that are at the top. But because there are only 2, so let's sell them out first. So you have 2 at the price of 30. Now they are done. And then we move on to the next balances, because you are told that in total there should be 12. We sold 12 units. So now we only sold 2 units. We still have 10 remaining. So we move on to the next balance that came in next, ne? Which is 10 at the price of 34. Now because we still need to sell out the 10 units in order for them to be 12, you sell out the total 10. You have 10 units here, so 10 at the price of 34. Now all these are sold out. Ne? So all these 2 balances are now sold out. You are only left with how much? 20 at the price of 40, which is 800. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Mm.
So we move on to the next. Let me just draw the table. So the next one is LIFO. Last in, first out. So LIFO is just the opposite of first in, first out. And it's also very simple. So you have the date, the received or the bought, whatever word you use, the sold or the issued, and then the balance, and then the total cost. Okay. So let's start. We do not have any balance brought down, so we leave it. We are using it's just the same example name in both the methods, just the same. So you ask to calculate value of your inventory using LIFO method. So what you do, you look at the month. The first month is January. So January, what did we do in January? We bought items. What am I doing? So in January, we bought items. How many items? We bought 10 items at the price of $30. Ne? So we did not issue out anything in zero. So what will be our balance? It will be 10 items at the price of $30. So the total cost is 300. So basically the first transaction is always the same in all the methods when you do not have the balance brought down. Or even when you have a balance brought down, the first transaction is always the same. And then we have the next month is March. So what did we do in March? We sold how many items? We sold 10 items. I'm sorry, we bought, not sell, we bought. So we bought 10 items at the price of 34. We did not sell out anything, so it's zero. So what will be our new balance? The rule says bring down the balance from the previous month first. So we are bringing down our balance at the price of 30. And that's when you can record your new balance, which is 10 at 34. So how much will be our total cost? 10 times 30 plus 10 times 34, obviously it will give us 640. So still it's the same. So the difference comes in the next month when we are going to issue out. That's where the LIFO comes in. So we did not receive anything, but we sold. How many items did we sell? We sold 8 items. So the rule says last in, first out. So what came in last should be sold out first. Now looking at these balances, the 10 at 34 is the one that came in last. So it should be sold out first. So you, with the LIFO, you start from the bottom. You issue out starting from the bottom. That's why you have 8 at the price of 34. So what will be our new balances? You will have 10 at the price of 30 because it's still standing, it was not sold. And then you have 2 at the price of 34. Now you see the difference between FIFO and LIFO. With FIFO, you start from up, but with LIFO, you start from down. We issued out the one that is down first.
Two is from where, Serafina?
Yeah?
Two.
Okay.
Uh,
Can you see? We issued out how many? It's 8. We are told that we sold 8, right? So we start from the balance that is down here. We have to issue out from the 10. So we issued out 8, right? So the remaining will be how many? How many items will we have left from the 10? From the 10 items after we issue out,
Two.
if we issue out 8?
Two.
We will have 2. That's why we'll have 2 at 34. So the 10 items are still in stock, and then we issued out eight items at the 10 items that came in last. We issued out 8 items, so we are left with 2 items at the price of 34 in our last balance. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So in this case, this will give you 300, and this will give you how much? 34 times 2, 68, right? It is 68.
68.
Yeah, it's
6.
68.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you will have a total cost of 368. Then we move on to our next month, which is September. So what did we do in September? We bought. How many items did we buy? We bought 20 items at the price of 40 Namibian dollars. So we did not issue out anything. It's a 0. So let's record our balances. The rule says bring down the balances from the previous month first. So we are bringing down our balance. We have 10 at the price of 30. And then we have how many? 2 at the price of 34. And that's when we can record our new balance of our new inventory that just came in, which is 20 at the price of 40. Do we understand?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so this will give you, obviously, this will be 300. And this will give us 68. And this is 800. So what is our total cost? So our total cost will be 1,100. So our total cost will be 1,168. Yeah, 800 plus 368, which will give us 1,668. So we move on to the last month, which is December. What did we do in December? We sold. We did not buy, so it's 0, but we sold. How many items did we sell? 12 items. The rule says last in, first out. You start from the bottom. You start issuing out the one that came in last. Now looking at these balances, the 20 items are the ones that came in last. 20 items are the ones that came in last. Okay. So we are told to issue out 12 items. So obviously we have 20 items here. So we can issue out all the 12 items from these 20 units that we have. So 12 at the price of $40. We are starting from the bottom, what came in last. Ne? What came in last should be issued out first. We are starting from the bottom. And at the bottom, we have 20 items. So we sell out 12. We sell out 12 of these 20 items. So our balances will be 10 at the price of 30, and then 2 at the price of 34, and then we sold out 12. So we are remaining with how many units? Only with 8. 20 minus 12 will give you only 8 units at the price of 40 Namibian dollars. So this will give you 300. This will give you 68. So what is 8 times 40? What is 8 times 40? Anyone?
320.
320.
320. Yes.
So it's 320. So what will be our total cost, our closing inventory? So it's 300 plus 320 plus 68, which will give you 688.
88.
Ne?
Yes.
So 688, this will be your closing inventory of LIFO. Last in, first out. You issue out starting from the bottom going up. First in, first out. You issue out starting from the top going down. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So we move on. Time is really running now. We only have 9 minutes left. So if we don't finish, I'll just quickly restart again. So let's quickly draw the table. So you have the date, the what's up with those? The receipt, the sold, the balance, and then the total cost. Okay. So with average cost, we said that we value our inventory using the average cost, and the average, to calculate average cost, average cost equals to total cost divided by total number of items. That's how you get your total cost. And it says that every time you buy, calculate your new average cost. Okay, so the formula of average cost is total cost divided by total number of items, and it says that every time you buy stock, you should calculate your new average cost. So those are the only basic things that you need to know. So let's start off with January. We do not have any balance brought down. We start off with January. We bought 10 items at the price of how many? Of how much? $30. So we did not issue out anything, it's zero. So what will be our balance? So our balance will be, we said that we calculate our average inventory, our average cost. Now looking at the average, The total cost of these items is how much? 10 times 30 will give you a total cost of 300, right? You divide it by the total number of items. Then you know that, okay, the total number of items are only 10. Currently, we only have 10. There's nothing else here, it's only 10. So you will have 10. So what will be our average cost? So in this case, it's 30. Now in the first transaction, the average cost is 30 because those are the only items that you have. So we'll have our balance of 10 items. Our balance will be 10 items at the price of 30. So our total will be 300. Okay. And then the next month is March. So what did we do in March? We bought again. How many items? 10 at the price of 34. Okay, so we did not sell out anything. So what will be our new balance? So average, we calculate our average. Says that you need to calculate average of March. So in average of March, we need to calculate it. We said it's total cost divided by total number of items. So if you check in your total cost, the first cost we have 300 plus the cost of the first is the cost of the items that the items that are already in the business, the balance from the previous month, which is 300, and the cost of the new inventory that you just bought, which is 360. Then that will give you your total cost, your new total cost. And then you divide it by the total number of items you currently have. So previously you had 10 items, you bought extra 10 items. So how many items do we have in stock? We have 20 items, 10 from the previous month and 10 from the current month that we bought. So in total we have 20 items. So it will be 640. You divide it by a total number of items of 20 items. So what will be our average cost? 640 divided by 20 is how much? 640 divided by 20? Anyone?
32.
32, right? So
Yes.
we'll have 32 Namibian dollars. So the 32 Namibian dollars is our average cost. Now we said that when with AVCO, we do not care of which came in first or which came in last. You just include everything together. So you have how many units in total? We have 20 units in total at the price of 32, the average cost that we used. So we do not even need to bring down the balances. We just add the units together. 10 units plus 10 units will give you 20 units in total at the price of 32 Namibian dollars. And therefore, our total cost is 640. 20 times 32 will give you 640. And then we move on to April. So what did we do in April? We sold 8 items. So we did not buy anything, but we sold 8 items. Ne? So 8 at the price of how much? Of 32. So we are now using our 32 at the price of 32. You see how simple it is? Very easy compared to the other ones even. So we sold out 8 items at the price of 32. So what you're left is 12 at the price of 32. So how much will be our total cost? What will be our total cost now? 12 times 32 is how much?
384.
How much?
384.
3
384.
384. That is our total cost. And then we move on to September. Now what did we do in September? We bought 20 items, right?
At 40.
we bought 20 items at the price of 40. Okay, so we calculate our new average. Let's quickly calculate our new average. We said every time you buy, you calculate a new average. So average of September. So we have our 384 that came from the previous month. The 12 times 32 is 384. So we have 384 plus 800, and then you divide it by the total number of items. So we bought 20 items, and then we had 12 items in stock as well. So in total we have how many units? We have 32 units. 20 plus 12, we have 32 units in total. So we divide it by 32. So our average will be how much? It will be 1,184. You divide it by 32 units. That will give you how much? The lesson will end itself anytime soon. We have less than a minute. So if it ends, I'll quickly just restart so we close off. We finish the whole activity. So
37.
what is our average cost?
37.
30?
7.
37. Okay.